Good morning. Welcome to yoga. Let's start out lying on our back, or you can come to a seated position, whatever feels comfortable for you. So you might try out constructive rest pose. Allow your knees to tent together. You might bring your hands onto your belly and just allow your eyes to maybe close or soften your gaze. Today, the theme is the yama brahmacharya, and this yama is one of yoga's ethical practices. So I've been reading from the book The Yamas and the Niyamas by Deborah Adele. And so I just wanted to focus our attention around the idea of brahmacharya, non-excess. One of the quotes from the book says, "We are here on this world, in part to feel enjoyment and pleasure. If we are in pleasure and not the addiction, we are practicing brahmacharya." Non-excess is not about non-enjoyment. It's actually about enjoyment and pleasure in its fullest experience. Overindulgence snuffs out life's force. Practicing non-excess preserves and honors this life force within us so that we can live with clarity and sacredness. So if you'd like to use the idea of brahmacharya in your practice, you might either bring that intention to mind. Where in your life can you practice more enjoyment and less overindulgence? But perhaps you have another intention for your practice, and if you do, then you can just bring that intention to mind. Imagine that intention is like a seed. You can allow it to plant at your heart center. And throughout your practice, if you find your mind wandering to either past events or future planning, you might just gently invite yourself back to your intention for your practice today. And we'll all start out on our backs. So coming into this constructive rest pose, really notice the points of contact that your body is making with the earth. You might sense the earth rising to support you in all your endeavors. And then we'll go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to touch. Allow the knees to open up wide to the sides, coming into a reclined butterfly position. With your next inhale, you can press the palms up towards the ceiling, imagining you're able to rest them on the ceiling. And then with your next exhale, go ahead and draw the knees up towards the elbows, engaging the core. Inhale, you can gently lower the legs back down. And then exhale, bring the knees towards the elbows. Inhale, gently lower the legs back down. And then you can take a few more rounds at your own pace, following the rhythm of your own breath. Just noticing the breath in the body, noticing any areas of sensation. Breathe in a way that feels natural to you. And you can go ahead and take one more round like this. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release your arms down to your sides. And we'll flip the palms so they're face down next to the hips. You can begin to press the soles of the feet together as you activate the muscles of the glutes to gently lift the glutes off of the ground. Finding some engagement in the inner thighs. And then exhale, gently lower back down. You might inhale once more, pressing the feet together with the knees wide, maybe lifting the glutes up off the ground to hover. And then gently lower back down. Inhale, gathering the strength to lift the hips. And then exhale, gently lower. And we'll do one more round like this. And exhale to gently lower. When you're ready, we'll bring the knees back up to center. You can walk the heels in towards the sit bones. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift the arms up overhead. Reach the fingertips up past the ears as you tuck the chin towards the chest. And then exhale, lower the hands back down. And you might lift the chin up towards the chest, lifting the head up off the ground and reaching the fingertips towards the knees. On your inhale, lower the head back down and lift the hands up overhead, reaching them up past the ears. And exhale, we'll reach the hands down towards the knees and curl the chin up towards the chest. Go ahead and take a few more rounds, inhaling to reach the arms up. Exhaling to roll the chin up, reaching the hands towards the knees. And let's take one more round like this. And then you can bring your hands back up overhead. We'll lift the heels up off the ground so that the shins are parallel with the ceiling. And then you can interlace the hands behind your head. You can stay right here, engaging the core. Or if you'd like a little more, you can lift the nose up towards the sky. And on your next exhale, stretch the right leg long and turn the right elbow towards the left knee. Inhale back to center and exhale to switch it to the opposite side. And just taking a few more rounds, alternating side to side, kicking one leg long as you reach that elbow towards the opposite knee. And when you're ready, when you feel complete from left to right, you can take a pause, lower the feet back down, and then we'll shift the hips a little over to the left. Allow the knees to fall over to the right to come into a twist. You can still keep your hands interlaced behind your head, and you might take a few rounds of pulsing your nose up towards the sky, engaging the side waist and obliques, and just noticing the sensations that arise. Taking your time, enjoying the breath. Inhale to lower and exhale to lift. And when you're ready, you can find stillness in your twist, extending your arms from side to side. Send your gaze over towards your left fingertips. Just feel a nice, gentle stretch for the neck. When you're ready, we'll draw the left hand up and over. Reach it over towards the right hand. And then inhale to sweep the left arm open. And exhale once more. We'll draw the left hand up and over the body. Inhale to sweep the arm open into your twist. Go ahead and take 2 more rounds like this. Exhale. Bring the hand to meet. Inhale to slide the arm open into your twist. And one last time. Now let's roll over to the right side. And you can either bring your right bicep underneath your head, or maybe bend your elbow and prop your head on your hand. With yourself rolled over to your right, we're going to glue the heels together and begin to lift and lower the left knee. So your belly button can be facing down towards the ground or towards the right, just using the strength of your left glutes to lift and lower the knee. Find some smooth, steady breaths here. And then when you're ready, you can glue the knees together and begin to lift and lower the left heel. Flexing the toes towards the knee. And then when you're ready, you can relax once more into your twist, bringing the upper back to rest on the mat, extending the left arm out to the side. And then we'll roll onto our backs, bringing our knees towards our chest. Give yourself a gentle hug. You might stretch your nose up towards your knees. And then go ahead and lower your feet back onto the mat. And we'll shift the hips this time over to the right. Allow the knees to fall over to the left this time. Let's bring the hands to interlace behind the head. And then you can begin pulsing your nose up towards the sky, finding some strength in the side waist, in the obliques. As soon as you feel ready, you can relax into the twist, maybe extending your arms out wide to the side. And with your next inhale, we'll draw the right arm up and over the body. Reach it over towards the left hand. And then exhale, sweep that arm back open. Inhale to draw the right fingertips up and over. And exhale to sweep the arm back over the body, extending into your twist. You can take 2 more rounds like this. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll onto our left side. You might prop your head up onto your left hand, resting your temple. And with your heels glued together, we'll lift and lower the right knee. Feeling that strength and engagement of the outer hip. You can keep everything pointing to the left. Just using that one set of muscles in the glutes. When you're ready, we'll shift to gluing the knees together and lifting and lowering the heel. You might notice how the sensation shifts. And then when you're ready, we'll relax once more into the twist, extending the right arm out to the right, allowing the upper back and shoulders to rest on the mat. And then when you're ready, you can draw your knees into your chest, roll onto your back. Give yourself a gentle hug. You might draw the nose up towards the knees, stretching through the upper back, and then rock up to a seat. In your seat, you might notice the habitual patterns of the way you cross your legs and maybe just try something different for today. It can be helpful if you have a pillow or a blanket to prop up just the edge of your seat to help lengthen your spine. And then with your hands resting on your knees, you can allow your right ear to come towards your right shoulder. Allow your left shoulder to melt away from your ear. You might just nod your head, yes. And then shake your head, no. Maybe you draw a little circle with the chin in one direction. And then reverse the direction. We'll come back to center. You can send your gaze down by your right shoulder. And then allow your chin to trace the front of your chest. You can pause and center. And then with your next exhale, allow your left ear to float over towards your left shoulder. You might take a moment to explore areas of sensation by gently shaking the head no, allowing the right shoulder to melt away from the right ear, and gently nod the head yes. Maybe draw a little circle with the chin in one direction, and then gently reverse the direction of that circle. Now send your gaze over towards your left shoulder. Maybe looking down at the left side of the body. Take a nice big inhale, and with your next exhale, you can allow your chin to trace the front of your chest and just allow yourself to pause and center. And then when you're ready, you can lift your gaze up to neutral. And we'll either do a seated cat-cow or you can come into hands and knees. So if you'd like to stay seated and not come onto your wrists and your knees, you can always do cat-cow here by exhaling to round the spine, drawing the belly button back. Inhale to lift the heart forward for cow pose. If you'd like to come onto hands and knees, you might bring a blanket underneath the knees and do cat-cow this way. So just know that you have a lot of different options and variations for your practice today. So let's come into a hands and knees version if you'd like. Inhale, we'll drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale to round the spine. Go ahead and take a few rounds of cat and cow, following the pace of your own breath. Sending the breath into any areas of tightness or holding. You might start to explore other movements here, maybe drawing a circle with the belly button. And if you're drawing a circle with the belly button, after your next round, go ahead and take a moment to pause and then switch directions. Go ahead and take one more round of whichever variation you chose. And then we'll come back to center, meeting in a neutral spine. You can walk the knees a little wider than hips distance, bring the big toes to touch, and sink the hips back, walking the hands out in front for child's pose. If you'd like a stretch for the triceps, you might bring the elbows a little bit closer in and then bring the palms into prayer. Maybe bend the elbows and bring the fingertips to face down the back of the neck. Take a nice deep breath in child's pose. You might exhale through the mouth, sticking out the tongue. For lion's breath, releasing any excess heat in the body or tension in the jaw and in the temples. And then we'll bring the palms back down to the mat. If your hands were in prayer, you can walk the palms up towards the front of the mat, and then we'll come into a downward facing dog. You can always skip down dog and continue to take your child's pose or whichever other variations you'd like. So tucking the toes under, you can lift the hips up and back. You might sashay the hips a little bit side to side. Maybe pedal the heels towards the mat. And if you do have a blanket on your mat, you might just go ahead and move it out of the way. And when you're ready, we'll walk into a forward fold. So you can either walk your hands to your feet or your feet towards your hands. You can have your feet as wide as hips distance or a little wider. And then go ahead and wrap your hands around your opposite elbows and just allow yourself to ragdoll here, maybe gently swaying a little side to side. When you're ready, you can release the hands down towards the mat. And we'll bring the palms either onto blocks or onto your shins. And you can inhale for halfway lift, bringing the back up to parallel with the ceiling, reaching the crown of the head forward. And then exhale to forward fold. On your next inhale, go ahead and bend into the knees. And you can roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. We'll come to standing in mountain pose, and you can close down the eyes. You might gently rock a little front to back, finding your center. Allow the shoulders to melt away from the ears. And then from here, we'll inhale the arms up towards the sky. You might look up, opening up the gaze, and then bring the hands out in front, almost like zombie arms with the hands parallel. And then we'll slide the right arm back. You can gaze back into a twist. Inhale to reach the arms back up towards the sky, coming back to center. Exhale, we'll bring the hands out in front and then sweep the left arm back for a twist. Inhale, you can sweep the arms back up overhead, and then exhale, bring the palms to face forward, and you can cactus the arms down into goalpost arms. Maybe exhale through the mouth like lion's breath. Inhale, sweep the arms back up overhead. Exhale, draw them to the heart center, and then we'll sink into our chair, bending at the knees, drawing the belly towards the spine, engaging with the core. You can take a nice deep breath here, and then with your next inhale, you might float the arms up past the ears. And then we can also bring the hands out in front and do our twist like before. Exhale, draw the right arm back. Send the gaze behind you. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, we'll twist to the left, bringing the left arm back, gazing back. And then inhale to sweep the arms up, come to standing, and exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale for halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. You can either come into your child's pose or your down dog, maybe walking your hands out in front, walking your feet behind you. Either take a few breaths in down dog or child's pose. Checking in with your breath and revisiting your intention for your practice today. If you're in a child's pose, come up to a tabletop. And if you're in down dog, we'll come into a plank. You can always lower your knees onto the mat for a little more support. And whenever you're ready, gently lower down onto the belly with the hands underneath the shoulders. We'll inhale for baby cobra, lifting the chest. Untucking the toes so the tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. And when you're ready, you can exhale to lower your head down, resting your forehead on the back of your palms. So you can sweep your hands around in front and stack your palms and let your head rest on the back of your hands. Take a nice deep breath in Crocodile pose, Lacrossana. And this pose is really good for anxiety. So anytime in your life, if you are feeling anxious, you might notice if you can take this pose, allowing your breath to fill up the back of your body. Changing where the breath is able to explore in the body. And then when you're ready, you can lift your head, turn your gaze to the left, and sweep your hands behind you so that your palms are face up. Allow your right temple to rest. You might enjoy that gentle stretch for the neck, gentle pressure on the temple. And with your next inhale, we'll lift everything up. Bring the gaze out right off the edge of your front of your mat. And allow the arms to lift, the legs to lift, using the strength of your spine and your core to balance on the belly button. You might inhale to sweep your arms forward and exhale to float your hands back. Maybe take 2 more rounds, swimming your hands, inhaling forward and exhaling them back. And 1 more time. And then when you're ready, relax all effort, turning your gaze this time to the right. Allowing your left temple to rest on the mat. And allowing yourself to delight in this time of rest. When you're ready, we'll explore a chest opener here so you can extend your arms out wide to the sides. And then we'll creep the left fingertips directly behind us as we roll onto the left side, opening through the front of the chest and the shoulder. You can allow your left temple to rest, bringing your ear towards the mat. Maybe you press your right hand into the mat to give yourself a little more leverage with the legs stacked. Another option to take this a little deeper would be to bend the right knee and reach the right foot behind the left leg. You can take a nice deep breath here, sending breath into the shoulder, into the front of the chest, opening the heart. And then with your next exhale, we'll close that back down, stacking the legs, rolling onto the belly. And this time we'll creep the right fingertips directly behind us at 90 degrees. Open through the front of the right chest. Allow the right temple to rest. And you can gently press with your left hand into the mat. Find a little leverage to open through the right shoulder. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you could bend the left leg, place the left foot behind you. Doing what feels right on this side. You might notice that it's a little different from left to right. And just allow yourself compassion and curiosity. Noticing where you feel sensation in the body. When you're ready, we'll roll back onto the belly. Press the palms underneath the shoulders. And you can tuck the toes under and lift up either through a plank or tabletop. Let's tuck the toes under and then lower the knees down. You can walk the hands back to find broken toe pose, stretching the undersides of the feet. You can either bring all of your weight onto your heels, or you can moderate by keeping your hands on the ground, maybe coming onto fists or blocks. If you'd like to take this stretch a little further into the ankles, you might even lift the knees and come into a tiptoe squat. You might feel that stretch in the calves. Whenever you're ready, you can gently lower the knees back down onto the mat. And we'll walk forward for tabletop. And then maybe tuck the toes under to come up into your downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in down dog. And then when you're ready, we'll walk our hands to feet or feet to hands. And find our forward fold. Bring the hands to shins or your thighs and inhale for halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. On your next inhale, you can bend into the knees, sweep the hands up overhead, and then exhale. Bring the hands to the heart center. And then go ahead and release the hands at your sides to find your mountain pose. Let's walk out into a wide-legged stance. And if you do have blocks, you might like them for underneath the hands. So we're gonna bring the feet on the long side of your mat with the toes kind of pigeon-toed a little bit inward. You bring your blocks out in front. And then whenever you're ready, let's reach the arms out wide to the sides with the palms facing forward. And then you can switch the palms to face behind you. And maybe you interlace your hands at your low back. Could also hold on to the edge of your shirt, or if you had a strap or a piece of fabric, you could hold on to that behind you. If your hands are interlaced, with your next exhale, you can hinge at the hips, leading with the heart as you come into a wide-legged forward fold. Allow your head to hang heavy. And if you like, with your hands interlaced or maybe holding onto a strap, you could allow the arms to gently fall overhead. Might find a nice gentle stretch for the shoulders without forcing or torquing. Just allow the weight of gravity to gently stretch through the shoulders. With your next exhale, allow the hands to come back to the low back. You can release the fingertips down the back of the legs. And then we'll bring the palms out in front and either on blocks or on the ground. You can inhale for halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. Now we'll inhale for halfway lift and shift your right hand so that it's underneath your face, either on a block or on the ground. And then we'll inhale to reach the left arm up towards the sky, and you might turn the gaze up towards the fingertips. On the next exhale, you can sweep the left hand down, reach it towards your right foot, like thread the needle, and then we'll inhale once more, bringing the left arm up towards the sky, and exhale to thread the needle. And let's do 2 more rounds like that on this side. Exhale to thread the needle. One more time. Inhale to sweep the left arm open. On your next exhale, we'll bring the left hand down this time. Plant it underneath the face. And then with your next inhale, you can sweep the right arm up towards the sky. Turn the gaze and lift the heart. Exhale, thread the needle under, bringing the right hand towards the left toes. Inhale to twist open towards the right. Exhale to thread the needle under. Inhale to sweep the right arm up. Go ahead and take 2 more rounds like this at your own pace. And when you're ready, you can bring both hands down underneath the shoulders. We'll shift the toes, so now we're coming into 45 degrees. You can bend a little into the knees, and then bring your hands to your thighs to come into an umpire squat or goddess pose. We'll walk the hands a little bit, or actually leave your hands on your knees, and you can allow the right shoulder to come towards the left knee for a gentle twist. Inhale back to center, and exhale, we'll twist to the left shoulder towards the right knee. You can take another round of that twist on each side. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the torso up towards the sky with your hands on your hips. And you're still in this goddess squat. And then you can inhale your arms out wide to the sides, up towards the sky. And then exhale, goalpost the arms out wide to the sides. On your next inhale, straighten the legs, lift the hands up overhead, and then exhale, come back into your goddess squat. You might stick out the tongue, exhaling the breath. Inhale to rise to center. Exhale, coming into your goddess squat. And one more time like this. Inhale, reach it up tall, stretch the legs long, and then exhale, coming into goddess. From here, on your next inhale, you might lift the left heel to hover. Exhale to lower it back down. Inhale to lift the right heel to hover. Exhale, lower it back down. And then on your next inhale, you might lift both heels to hover. So you're balancing on the balls of your toes. On your next exhale, you can lower the heels and inhale, reach up tall, straightening the legs. And exhale, you can bring the hands to heart center. And then walk or hop your feet to meet in center. Let's pause for a moment. Take a nice deep breath. And then we'll inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. So you can stand with yourself facing the short edge of your mat now. We'll go ahead and walk the hands out in front. Step your feet back to find downward facing dog. And then gently lower your knees onto the mat. And with your toes untucked, you can walk your hands back to come and sit in hero's pose. If this is not comfortable, you can always sit on blocks or sit cross-legged. Just going to take a moment to pause here. Take an inventory of your breath. We're going to be making our way onto our backs. So you can shift over so that you're on your seat. And then with your feet out in front, you can reach your arms out long and just start to gently take a breath, move back maybe a tiny bit, holding the core strong. Maybe a little bit further. Take your time to move your way onto your back. Whenever you're ready, you can walk your heels in towards your sit bones, and then we'll inhale to lift the hips and come into bridge pose. You can always press your hands towards your hips, towards onto the ground to help you lift a little higher. With your next exhale, you can lower back down one vertebrae at a time. We'll inhale for bridge, pressing the hip points up towards the sky, tucking the chin towards the chest. And then exhale to gently lower back down. And let's take one more round of bridge. Inhale to lift the hips. This time you might shimmy the shoulders underneath the body, interlacing the hands behind you for a bind. Allowing the chin to tuck towards the chest. You might take a few rounds of breath holding this bridge shape. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and exhale. Let it all go. And we'll find happy baby pose. So you can bring your hands behind your thighs, bring your knees towards your armpits. You might walk your hands up your legs to your ankles, or maybe grasp hold of the edge of your foot, or maybe even wrap your peace fingers around your big toes. Whatever feels best for you and your body, you might gently rock a little bit side to side, just feeling the massage of the earth on your back. Allow yourself to be playful in this happy baby pose. Just finding what movements feel good to you. Whenever you're ready, we're going to come into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So you can allow your legs to stretch long. Allow your arms to rest at your sides. And just allow yourself to fully relax. Smoothing out your forehead, softening your eyelids, and relaxing the hinge of your jaw. Notice where you can sink a little more deeply into the earth. You might imagine that there's a new street that's been paved. And you lay down in the concrete and just notice the softness of the earth rise to support you, and your very unique impression that you can make. You might take a moment to revisit your intention for your practice today, and then just let it go. If we stop and pause for a moment, we know that it's the simple things that stir our soul and bless us with happiness. The wind in the trees, the colors of the sky, the touch of a loved one, the delight of a child. A shared moment with a friend can fill us to overflowing. This overflowing is expansive and humbling, much different than the satiation of excess. I am hungry to step outside of the habits of technology and the bombardment of stimulation and the routines I have conveniently put into place for myself. I am hungry to learn from the silence and see if I am on track with my soul. I am hungry to tame the stimulation and pull back the indulgences. And I am hungry to do nothing and let that be more than enough. Resting rejuvenates my sense of mystery. In this simple act, I find my eyes are shifting towards wonder, and my heart spontaneously bursts with songs of gratitude. Brahmacharya means non-excess. Following this jewel may mean shifting our days so we have more time to just watch and marvel. It may mean adding more ritual to our lives in a certain rhythm. We may shift some of our commitments so that we have time to see and attend to mystery and holiness by lighting candles, saying prayers, massaging our feet, taking hikes, or rubbing our loved ones' backs. Brahmacharya reminds us that we aren't embodied in this form to feel dead, but to feel alive. We aren't embodied to snuff out our vitality and passion through excess, but to bring it to full expression. This week, you might try to eat and work and sleep to the point of increased energy and before the lethargy of excess sets in. The point in life is to know what's enough. To know what's enough and to stop there. To practice pleasure without excess. You can feel free to stay as long as you like in your final resting pose, Shavasana. If you're ready to reawaken your body, you might just start to humbly offer your body gratitude for all the movements that it can make, all the places it can take you. And just notice yourself in this huge universe and offer yourself gratitude for the mystery that has brought us all here together. You can start to invite some movements into your fingers and toes. Gently rotate your wrists and your ankles. You might inhale to stretch your arms up past your ears to find a long body stretch. And then when you're ready, you can roll onto one side and press yourself up into a seat. With your next inhale, go ahead and sweep your arms up and around, inviting in the mystery of the universe, and then bring your hands to meet at your heart center. Allow your head to gently bow towards the wisdom of your loving heart. It's such an honor and a privilege to get this opportunity to guide you through your practice today. Thank you for being here. Namaste.
Thank you. Bye. Have a